Talk about what you were trying to do in the secondary today. They throw for 501, but I know you come in with a game plan of what you're trying to do. So talk a little bit about how it worked or what you were trying to do.
Trying to be over the top. They did a good job of isolating our guys one-on-one. Tylen's a good football player, and so we just started trying to go man-to-man on him more, but did a good job of isolating us a little bit with him.
Have you been pleased with the progress you've seen in the 5 weeks you've been doing this?
Well, you always go back, and the one thing I am pleased about, I'll come back, but you always look at it and say, how could I be better? Not the kids. What can I done better to help them? Something here, something there. But as far as the kids, the most impressive thing is their fight. They had some tough plays, and you got to give Coach Gundy and his team credit. But our kids kept fighting for the second week in a row. You don't want to, but wins are hard. I said it last week. Wins are hard, and if anyone thinks I'm going to not, no, I love it. What I think about is how can I help them more, So as soon as the game's up, I'll start thinking that way. But very happy to get the win, and there's a lot of things we can improve on.
Progress, is that a lot of this every week to week where it's like you make progress and then you take a step back?
No, not really. I think last week we faced a team that did a good job early. We're facing, you're talking about two top teams in the league. We had 6 to 8 explosive plays going to the game, and next person tied was Oklahoma State. They've had 6 to 8 explosive plays going to this game, so we knew that. You see some steady play in areas, and you see some areas that need to keep doing that. But that's just how this game is. In November, what I've learned is you got to scrap, and I know the last 2 weeks have been scraps and fights, and having been in it for a little while, I don't ever take that lightly. So, we'd like to be here, and that's the challenge of coaching. So,
talk about you came up with a great call for the 2-point play, and Coach said you knew about it or you already had one in mind, but talk about what you were thinking about there, and did they run what you thought they were going to run?
Well, calling against Coach Riley every day in practice gets hard. We don't see each other on Mondays and Thursdays, but Tuesdays and Wednesdays we go against one another. And it could be third down or 2-minute offense, 2-point play, and during that time what I do is watch the other team. We all have different assignments on defense, for example, and trick play area, for example, exotic formations, 2-point plays, and then you sort of come up with 2 options, one to be able to attack or blitz it, one to defend it. That last one we felt just getting in man, and let's send some edge pressure. We knew 2 in the game, they were going to have to come back with motion. That's what they've shown. So, you see if you watch it real closely, you see Trey pointing it out, alerting that he's going to run with it. And, with pressure off the edge, the best thing down there is we just went straight zero coverage with no help. Each week changes. Like last week, we thought maybe be more coverage and zone coverage. So that takes about a week, or I start really on Sunday after we grade this film, and I'm a whole part. So I start watching whole, and then Monday night, Tuesday, Wednesday, those little intricacies like 2-point play. Before the half, in the game, we had timeouts left right before the half. Wish I would have gone to Boston and say, let me get one right here. But they were going down and down, hurry up offense, which is good on their part. And learned a lot personally as a team. So we'll have it fixed, better fix it.
How hard is it to kind of keep the morale up when you keep getting them the second and third and longs, and it seems like you have them and then they just they get it, maybe by not very much, but they get that first down.
It's tough. I know it's tough on the players. That's why we keep talking about forget it and drive on. Fido, because they coach too. They spread you too, and you hope to get your share. Last week we were 70%, 77%. This week a little tougher, but getting third down is very big for us. And the reason why, it first gets us off the field, but number 2, get the ball back to our offense. That's one of the biggest emphasis. I know I was asked about turnovers. We do turnover circuits every day, trying to get the ball back to our offense to get extra possessions, because if you give those guys extra possessions when we're ahead of the schedule. So when we were able to stop them on third down, now we got CD back to return punts, and Coach Beamer does a great job in punt return. So it all a part of that complementary football. So it bothers you, it hurts you, but at the same time, you got to line back up and play again.
Can you talk a little bit about Caleb Kelly, getting him on the field more today, more snaps?
Yeah, Caleb is, Caleb had contemplated wanting to move positions, and Coach Riley and the staff, we wanted him there, move it, and it was inside, but then it comes to a point where we went to Caleb, and Caleb's a team player, and said, Caleb, we need you on the field here. So it wasn't like we had to twist his arm. He's ready to go, so Caleb is a really good football player, coming off of shoulder surgery a little bit early, especially during fall camp, not talked about much. And he wanted to move position and go more to an inside linebacker. So this past really week and a half been sort of getting him ready to go. So he'll be there from here on out.
Yeah, when did you start the transition, this week, or has it been a couple
Yeah,
weeks?
he's always been there, like in our passing packages, which is sort of similar to what he does. But now when base, Caleb has the ability to be in what we call base, and also in any kind of multiple skill type packages, what you call stacks. So Caleb's smart, very coachable, and it was just a relearning for him because he played it last year and before I got here the year before. So for Caleb, it was just relearning, and we changed not much for him, so he's able to catch on.
And along the lines of what you were talking about before, they had 39 first downs today.
39?
39.
That's a lot.
So, this day and age, can you be a playoff team giving up those kind of numbers if you get the stops late that you need to, especially when you have that offense on your team with Kyler Murray?
When you have people looking at it, I know I was talking to those guys that did our game, Todd and Steve and Brian. And now it is a winter dressing thing to get in that playoffs. Not that I'd love to be there. I think people have to really, you asking me personally what I think, is win by one, win the game. Because if you've been in it as long as I have, you know how hard wins are. Now, with the playoff, it's got to be different now. So, yeah, sure, you like to have this, maybe, but nothing would ever take away from the feeling of winning, because I've been on the other end of that. So, yes, the playoffs goal is here. The Big 12 goal is here. Winning this game was like right now. So I think a little bit differently probably, because I know there's a long-term goal. But mine goes right back to the night, Saturday. I got 24 hours to digest it on Monday to go to the next guy. Kansas, not tonight, but tomorrow, really tomorrow if we break down film. So if you're asking that, do I, yes, but now getting critical stops, if that's a category, maybe somebody should look that up. Critical stops, and, stopping a two-point play was pretty big, I think, Two-point play last week for interception helped us win, so I'd probably look at it a little bit differently, than most people, but doesn't mean I'm right or wrong, I'm asking you a question. I don't seem like I am. I can tell about you leaning to your left like that on your elbow. Right. Yeah.
Just leaning into you.
You focus, yeah. But no, just in the order, like I said, winning is important, and then I know I don't listen to radio or stuff like that, I'm weird about that kind of, but I know that's a part of it now. Being a complete team and making sure we do our part. That doesn't intimidate me. It even motivates not just me, but our staff and our players. So, but at the same time, nothing will override us winning a football game. A rivalry game, nip and tuck, and our guys having to come up and make a play again for the second time in the week. It wasn't pretty in some standards, but for me it was, because we won, So I really put that over a lot, Maybe that's not an answer everybody want to hear, but I just like to win because I've been on the other side of that, where we didn't win. So I enjoy that part. and I enjoy it for the kids too. You know, so. That's a great question.
Ruffin, you guys struggled at times to stop Florida State's offense. You also had some nice plays, 8 passes, 2 sacks, tackles for loss. What's the key to playing consistent defense moving forward?
Well, you know, it's in this league, you got to be able to blend your coverage. You like to be able to go as many different coverage as you want, but at the same time, make sure guys know their assignments. And everybody says you keep it simple. Well, one of the hardest things about keeping it simple is keeping it simple. You know, that's one of the hardest things about it. So with that, be able to blend your coverages. We know Tyler's a really good football player, for example. So is Hill. Those guys are really good ball players. So just playing 11-man defense is my first answer. Run game, getting exact run fits, which I thought we did for the most part. Pass game fits. We have to make sure great pass rush equals great pass coverage and vice versa. Y'all good?
Sorry, Ruffin. I just want to ask about Brendan Radley-Hiles, and I don't know if somebody asked you about him, but what did you think of how he played, and what did you think of his return after missing last week?
Well, you know, last week we were down 2 starters, he and Khalil, and we thought we might be able to get him back, but it was tough. So I love the football player of Buki, but I love him more. So having him on the field was made us more multiple, you know. Khalil's experience at safety is big. You know, not having Khalil out there can make you hinder your calls a little bit. You got to cater your calls, and that's okay. But having Buki back, you're able to do a little bit more things coverage-wise. I was asked about the offenses and those things, get a little bit more involvement. And, you know, he's still a freshman growing, but it was good to be able to see him on the field.
Time for one more for Coach Ruff.
They've done good, Mike. Give them some pizza and stuff. They really asked some good questions, Mike.